So, the person that's up in the booth, is it Mark?
Yes.
Well, Mark was sitting in the social hall before, and Herb was going upstairs. So I just want to say that the person that's sitting in the booth, I watched part of I'm looking up at them, not trying to ignore you guys. I watched part of last week's service. At one point, Herb made the comment that he had to eat the microphone. That is not correct. Especially the fact that people are sharing microphones. Nobody wants to have somebody else's gunky mouth stuff on the microphone. What needs to happen is the person that's up in the booth needs to raise the microphone up. I couldn't hear Herb at all on the microphone last week. I could hear the musicians perfectly loud and fine, but I could not hear the microphone. So if you cannot hear the microphone, you need to raise your hand, and whoever's leading the service needs to stop, and we need to adjust to that, because if you can't hear them in the congregation, they can't hear them at home either. I literally was holding my headphones to my ears like this, and I could barely hear him. And you guys know Herb is not a quiet man. So, Herb, are you up there? I'm done with this. I'm gone. Herb, did you hear everything I just said? Okay. Well, I'm sure that you said really good things, but I couldn't hear you because you don't have to eat the microphone. You just have to make sure the microphone is loud enough that people can hear you. I'm literally talking in a kind of normal voice right now. You don't really want me to yell. What? You're welcome. No, it wasn't you. I want whoever's leading the service to be able to be heard. Especially when it's someone wise, like Herb, or Harvey, or anybody else that leads services up here. Okay, so it's wonderful to be back with you. I did enjoy my week off last week with my family in Orlando. I was thinking about you as I was painfully watching a football game that wound up with the right win, but still it was painful. And as we always do, we're going to start with good things. Now, usually I go last, but I'm not going to go last tonight because I don't want somebody else to steal my good news. And that is, this afternoon or this morning, I signed, it is everyone's good news, but it was my signature, so it's my good news. This morning at about 11:45, I and your president, Rachel, signed a 5-year contract. So I will be here for at least 5 more years, and that means my family will be here too. And for those of you that commented online very nice things about me and my family, we really appreciate it. It just reinforces why we're so happy to be here. Okay, now, who wants to go next? Betsy.
I'm not going to stand, but I think you can hear me. Michael and I spent Thanksgiving at our daughter's home in Cape Coral. It was the first time in a year that we had been with her and her family. They have just moved from New York. Cape Coral is supposedly 3.5-hour drive. Thanksgiving traffic made it 4.5 hours to go there and almost 6 to come home. And we drove home on Saturday because AAA said Sunday would be worse.
Well, I just want you to know that we left Orlando on Sunday, and I think we're still driving. It took us 4 hours to get from Orlando to Ocala on Sunday. Yeah, so the traffic was just horrendous. But I'm so glad you're able to be with your family.
It was the first time in 10 years that we've been with family for Thanksgiving. It was wonderful.
Amazing, amazing. Andrea, David, which one of you?
I just love to share with you all the fact that our dear friends Sam and Gail Gold are visiting us from Sarasota. We go back many, many moons. It's nice to be able to tell you that Temple Beth Shalom in Sarasota is where we started out, and it's nice that she's here at Temple Beth Shalom tonight.
And what can we do to bring them here? Temple Beth Shalom.
They are still pretty happy in Sarasota.
Okay.
His gift to the world is he and his wife both are wonderful videographers.
Okay.
And he was here videographing a celebration of life earlier today.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Welcome to both of you. Rita?
Larry and I got to spend an early Thanksgiving with our daughter Kim and son-in-law Mark in St. Augustine.
Yay.
And we had a wonderful time. And we actually ended up having 4 Thanksgiving dinners.
So you're still digesting. All right, fair enough.
I also want to add that after almost a year, it is at least a year, I finally was able to get my teeth cleaned, allowed to get my teeth cleaned. And that lady over there, Andrea, cleaned them. And she is
Are you an
she's
ah,
a hygienist, and she did such a wonderful job.
that's
And
great.
I want to publicly say, if you're looking for a dental hygienist, there she is. She's next.
Well, I don't want to have competition, but we do have a dentist a working dentist that is a member of our congregation. He just so happens to be at our dentist, but so if they're not available, Andrea, I know who to call. Wonderful. Yes, Susan.
Okay, I finally did my first road warrior trip. We went to Pittsburgh to my kids. I gotta tell you, you had worse traffic than we did. Coming back was only an accident that took 10 hours for one leg of the trip. But I've never been in a car so much in my life. 16 hours going
Oh my God.
and back. It was great. And then I saw this white scary stuff coming down.
Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross.
Well, I saw my grandbabies and my daughter. We had a lot of fun.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Excellent. Anybody else in this section? Okay. Yes, Naomi?
Well, I just got back from Philadelphia. And,
So you saw lots of the white stuff.
no, they didn't have any snow. They just had an extra amount of cold to make up for it.
Okay.
And had a wonderful, well, had my whole family there, which was great, all 4 of my grandchildren.
Wonderful.
And this morning, I was discharged by my doctor.
No boot.
I haven't been at home for about 3 weeks, but I got a foot doctor, but I
Well, hang on a second. 2 weeks ago, were you not in the boot 2 weeks ago when I saw you last? Oh, well,
I'm fully in shoes and
thank God.
everything, and he doesn't want to see me again. That's just what he
And that's an okay thing. Wonderful. Congratulations. I'm glad you get to spend time with your family. Yes, Deborah.
Yes, just like everybody, had Thanksgiving with my family. Met up in West Virginia. Nobody lives in West Virginia, but my daughter-in-law decided we should go up there and get in the cabins. Saw snow, had a wonderful time. It was the first time the whole family had been together in quite a while.
That's wonderful. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, Ruth?
I am just grateful to have a lot of good friends that I've made here in Stone Creek, as my family is not here, and that's my gratefulness.
Grateful for you as well. Anybody else? Okay. Yes, Rachel?
Along with Naomi, Daryl was released from the doctor as well.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! Does that mean the port is gone?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. And not to, no, I'm not going to say that because tonight is not about Daryl. Yes. Danica. Yes, Danica went from a 3 in her first semester, at the beginning of the semester in English, to a 5 this semester. It can't get higher than 5. So I don't know what she's going to do in the spring. Akiva? Yes, Carly was coming tonight, but missed her bus, so she will be here tomorrow. And not to outshine Danica, but Akiva, who didn't have a great first test for FAST, he raised it all the way up to just above average for this one. So he's also heading in the right direction. So good job, little man. Okay, with that, we will begin our service on page 2 with the candle blessings, and I'd like to invite Tommy Williams.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our own lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light. So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who howls us with mitzvah, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Tommy. We continue on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services. But I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We continue with Shabbat Hamalcha on page 10. Continue on page 14. We read responsively. Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Sing to Adonai, bless God's name. Proclaim God's victory day after day. Tell of God's glory among the nations, God's wondrous deeds among all peoples. For Adonai is great and much acclaimed. God is held in awe by all divine beings. All the gods of the peoples are mere idols, but Adonai made the heavens. Glory and majesty are before God. Strength and splendor are in God's temple. Rejoice, and the earth exult. Let the sea and all within it thunder. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of Adonai, for God is coming. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples in faithfulness. We continue with the singing of Ochadodi on page 20.
Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Yishmi'anu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'hiti la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor baracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Itori, kiva orei kumi ori tildaberi, kevod Adonai ala yiknig la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nikabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'v'tza'ala, toch emuneh am segula.
Bacha wants to start a rocket line for that one. Please rise as we turn to page 26 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach irutei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, uv'izman kariv, v'imeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'olam me'almayach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei d'kudusha brichu, le'elam min kol bercha Bracha v'shirata. Please be seated. We turn to page 30. And before we continue in the service, I forgot to announce another bit of good news. It's not officially my good news, but my best friend of 35, almost 35 years, same age as me, he's 48. His wife is a bit younger, in her mid-30s, but still had a geriatric pregnancy. They had their first and probably only child born 2 days ago. So, and while I wanted to call him Little Larry, because Lawrence is his first name, my best friend corrected me and said that if he has a nickname, it's going to be Lance. So, but it's Lawrence for now. Anyway, that's good news because he will be the greatest father ever. We continue on page 30 with Mariv Arvi. Oh, and he happens to be the godfather of Carly, so he's like family. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chokhmah potech sha'arim v'tvuna mishaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzivaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch alenu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamariv aravim. We continue on page 32 with the singing of Ahavat Olam. rise for the Shema on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Hashem, Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We continue with the chanting of Ve'ahavta on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 39, we continue reading responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Page 40, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. And the river is wide, the river is wide, and the river is deep, the river is deep, and the river is standing between you and me, and freedom, freedom, and we shall overcome one day. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot, osef eleh. And the river is filled, the river is filled, and the river is hate, the river is hate, doors and the gates of freedom, freedom, and we shall overcome one day. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor ba'kodesh, Nora tehilot, Osef eleh. And the river divides, and the river forgives, and the river's a wall, and the river's a bridge to freedom, freedom, and we shall overcome one. Freedom, freedom, and we shall overcome one day. Yes, we shall overcome one day.
That is a really pretty song. I don't remember it being done. That doesn't mean it wasn't done. I just don't remember it.
Michael Ox.
Okay. Well, I would only say one thing to Michael, and that is, it's a sea, not a river. But when you come to We Shall Overcome, think of the rivers of Babylon. Think of they're certainly mighty justice waters like streams. So it fits. It fits. We're going to bring that one back on Martin Luther King weekend, because that's a really good fit for that service. Thank you for bringing it back. I'm sorry that I don't remember it, but I will remember it next time, that's for sure. Page 43, let's read together in English. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue with the singing of Veshamru, page 44.
Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת, לדרותם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
We continue in our service on page 46 with the Amidah. Please rise. Adonai, Sefaitai Tiftach, Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your ata Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo V'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata Rav Le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, so make noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melach, melech meimit u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, ne'eman ata l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol, ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We continue on page 55. This is allergies, by the way. I'm not passing like COVID on to you. This is just allergies with the change of the temperature. No, not temperature. The temperature is part of it, but all of the allergies that are out there from the change of the what? The ragweed, and I don't know if you guys saw that everything in Stone Creek was on fire last week. There was fires in front of Stone Creek like every day. Yeah. Whatever. Burning trees, yes, because we need more smog in the world. Speaking of, disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai, deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 57. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer. Wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion, restored in all lands, you are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shotcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. We continue with the choir leading us in the singing of Shalom Rav on page 60. page 62. Please join me in singing one of our songs for peace. Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Keep it going. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, amen. We're now going to continue in our prayer books on page, I totally just didn't turn on to say shalom, so you guys, good job. We're staying on the same page 62 with the singing of Elohai Netzor, which will be followed by a few moments of silent meditation. So if you'd like to close your eyes and just listen to the spirituality of the music and start your prayer then, and we'll be back together in a few minutes.
Elohai Netzor Lashoni Meira Usfatai Medaber Merma Vilim Kalalai Nafshi Tidom Vinafshi Ke'afar Lakol Tihye Elohai Elohai Netzor Lashoni Meira Usfatai Medaber Merma Vilim kalalai nafshi tidom v'nafshi ke'afar lakol tihye Elohai B'tach libi B'tach libi B'tach libi B'toratecha Elohai Netzor Lishonei Meira Usfatai Medaber Merma Vilim kalalai nafshi tidom V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tihye Elohai Netzor Lishonei Meira Usfatai Medaber Merma Vilim kalalai nafshi tidom V'nafshi ke'afar lakol tihye
We come now in our service to the moment in which we think of all of those in our community who are in need of healing, whether it be mind, body, or spirit. Of course, we have the list that we send out every Thursday that's compiled by Vanessa. So if you send a name to me or to Rachel, it's forwarded on to Vanessa, hopefully. And so obviously we have those names every week, but if there's someone that is in your circle of community who is in need of healing that hasn't been sent to us and you'd like to have their names said out loud, please raise your hand. Betsy.
Steve Danzig.
Randy Huizinga.
Lily Russell.
Alicia Northcross.
Cynthia Loudon.
Marty Bruckner, Stephanie Benedict, Rochelle Hicks.
Geraldine Welsh, Dr. Levis, Barbara Ashton.
Cindy Stellhart.
Evelyn Perez and Barbara Madison.
William Bernard, Nora Jane Smith, Martha Perez, Jackie Barkley, Tony Ravage, and myself.
We join together either on page 253 or in your minds. Misha Berach.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
So if you weren't a part of the interview process with me, and you may or may not be aware of what I'm going to tell you right now, but if you were in the interview process, then you heard this. My mother was a convert, and probably the greatest influence on my life Jewishly. My father, who is still living, he would have no problem hearing me say that, because he always joked about the fact that, he worked every Friday night. It was up to my mom to take us to synagogue, and my mom taught in the religious school. My mom, blah, 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 blah. Greatest influence on my life in more ways than one, but specifically Jewishly. Certainly was a problem for me when I was ordained that my mom had already passed away. But it is because of my mom's experience as a conversion student up in New York City within the very Orthodox, not orthodoxed, like boxed, in the very Orthodox neighborhood that she was going through conversion with, and the experiences that she had. She went to the mikveh. My brother Jason was born the next day. Besides that, she was called every single negative name you could think of from within the Jewish community. Her motives were challenged. It was not a good experience for her. And I remember she never told me anything about her conversion story until I was old enough to understand what she was telling me. As a result of that, when I went to rabbinical school, I wrote my essay on the challenge facing Reform Judaism today was interfaith marriage, but not from the way that most people were looking at it. My way of looking at it was we were too concerned with checking people's Jew card at the door as a community. We were not getting people to come into our places, and there was this, and still some today, but not as bad today as certainly when I was growing up, this almost standoffish feeling towards conversions, towards Jews by choice. Because for a lot of reasons, people who grew up Jewish, do you have a question? Oh, okay, so I thought you were raising your hand, Ken, I'm sorry. Oh, you're just stretching your hand, gotcha, sorry. For a lot of people who grew up Jewish, we take advantage, or we lose sight of all of the things that are beautiful about Judaism. We just take it for granted. And when a new person comes in who is gung-ho about this and gung-ho about that, there's almost this feeling of, whoa, what's their motive? And obviously, we've been around for as long as the Jewish community has been. We tend to be a little bit standoffish at times. We don't send missionaries out. We expect, and I think it's a little bit convoluted and highfalutin a little bit, but it's just the way that it is. But because of my mom's experience and because of my own experience growing up in South Carolina, surrounded by not many Jewish people, conversion has always been a huge part of my rabbinic identity. I took as a third or fourth year rabbinic student in Fort Walton Beach, Temple Beth Shalom, I took 20 people through conversion in 2 years. And this was going to a synagogue twice a month. Since I became a rabbi in 2012, I've probably taken over 100 to 150, somewhere between 100 and 150 people through conversion, usually about 10 to 12 per year. We've backed off a little bit in the last couple of years, but for the most part, it was about 10 to 12 people per year. It's really important to me. And the experience that conversion candidates experience while going through the process is so important to me. This is the reason why, as you may or may not know, I don't teach conversion candidates individually. If you want to go through conversion with me, you have to join my class. Because I create a community within the students that are taking my class. If I'm going through conversion and I'm experiencing something that's painful, I have somebody else who may be experiencing something similar. I can go to them and we can commiserate. I can't necessarily get that from somebody else. So because of that, because of how serious I take conversions, it is probably, I don't want to say that it's my favorite thing as a rabbi because I don't want to put that kind of, but it's definitely in my top 2. If I have to say 1A and 1B kind of thing, you might be surprised to know that being with a family when they're going through the loss of life of a loved one, that's actually up there too, because of the role that the rabbi plays in that I play in that experience. But conversions is just so important to me. It is with absolute pleasure that I invite our newest Jew by choice up to the bima with me right now, Michael Ahern, to join me. Don't do that yet. He hasn't passed the final test. Just kidding. You're in. This Shabbat marks a special moment for you, our synagogue community, and the Jewish people. Your hard work and dedication, let me just do it this way so I can look at you while I'm saying this. Your hard work and dedication along this part of your Jewish journey has led you to this important moment in your life. This is the moment of Kabbalat ul Malchut, accepting the yoke of heaven. Tonight, you are accepting the lifelong devotion to God, the Torah, and the Jewish people. By doing so, you are devoting yourself to making this world a better place for all of God's creations through mitzvot and acts of loving kindness. It is with honor and joy that I stand here tonight to welcome you into the Jewish faith in front of your family, friends, and community members. Upon acceptance of this yoke of heaven, by embracing the Torah and uttering the sacred words of Shema, the future of the Jewish people will be stronger, and more secure. So in front of this holy congregation, I ask you one more time, are you sure you would like to take this final step in your conversion process?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Great. That was the right answer. At this sacred, joyous moment, we renew the covenant at Sinai between God and the people of Israel. Grant, O God, your loving favor to Michael, as in this holy place we welcome him into Jewish life. Help him to live in fidelity to the decision he has made and to the promise he is about to utter. May he always find joy in the fulfillment of your Torah and enduring satisfaction in the practice of Judaism. Vouchsafe unto him many years of strength and happiness as a worthy son of your covenant. Blessed are you, God, in whose presence is fullness of joy. And together we say, Amen. Michael Ahern has met the requirements for conversion and has demonstrated his will by vowing to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel, becoming a Jew of his own free will. He accepts Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices and pledges his loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances. He promises to establish a Jewish home, which he has, and to actively participate, which he does, in the life of the synagogue and the Jewish community. He commits himself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge. And it's usually at this point in the service or in the ceremony that I say, and if he chooses to have children, he raises them in a Jewish home. For this community, I've taken that line out. So I'm going to ask you, Michael, to read from this line down to this line here.
I am a Jew. My faith demands of me no affection of mine. I am a Jew because my faith requires of me all the devotion of my heart. I am a Jew because in every place where suffering weeps, I weep. I am a Jew because at every time when despair cries out, I hope. I am a Jew because the word of the people Israel is the oldest and the newest. I am a Jew because the promise of Israel is a universal promise. I am a Jew because of Israel the world is not complete. We are completing it. I am a Jew because for Israel humanity is not created. We are creating it. I am a Jew because Israel places humanity and its unity above the nation and above Israel itself. I am a Jew because above humanity, images of the divine unity, Israel places unity which is divided.
Just divine.
Divide.
Please rise as I invite Michael to join me at the ark. This is the moment that Michael has been pining for several months. Got it? Okay. At your Beit Din, you uttered a promise affirming your commitment to God and to the Jewish people. You affirmed your loyalty under all circumstances to the Jewish people and your promise to establish a Jewish home and to always remain in pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge. Now, Michael, on this very special Shabbat for our synagogue community and the Jewish people, you stand before the open ark and before the commanding presence of the Torah, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It has led us on the way and guided us ever since we received it at Sinai. It has been carried during the times of our greatest rejoicing and when we fled from burning synagogues and villages. I placed the Torah in your arms. Take it to your heart as you now recite the Shema, the words on the lips of the Jew until the moment of death, the affirmation that has sustained the Jewish people in life since our beginnings. Repeat after me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch, Shem, Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam, Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious kingdom, now and forever. Before I take the Torah back from you, if you want to kiss it, you can. Just don't get too close to the Torah. Love the Torah, but don't love the Torah. You are known by the name Michael, which means that you are always linked in love to those who gave you life. And from this time forth, you shall also be known within the Jewish community as Michael. May this name bring respect to you and honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice in our welcoming you in our midst, one that willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people. As our people have done through the ages, I ask God's blessing on you in ancient words. Will you come over here? Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. You got me nervous. May God bless you and keep you. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. May the light of God shine with you always, and may you always have peace. And we say together, Amen. And now, close the ark door with me. Now, Michael is going to, in a few minutes, speak a little bit. You can be seated now. Michael is going to speak in a few minutes a little bit about his name and his journey, whatever he cares to share with us within reason. But before I do that, can you guys lead us in Shechianu after he's done speaking? Awesome, thank you. I want to show you what we're giving you. First of all, your certificate with the right congregational name on it. I don't know why this happened, but twice now I have written Temple Beth El. When I was trying to write, because I'm so like, I did it for 10 years. I did it for 5 years, guys. I'm still getting used to writing Beth Shalom. But I got it correct, so he's got the right one. This says Certificate of Conversion. This is to certify that Michael Ahern, having sought to join the household of Israel by accepting the religion of Israel and promising to live by its principles and practices, was received into the Jewish faith on November 19th, 2024, the 18th, of Cheshvan, 5785, by Temple Beth Shalom, Ocala, Florida, signed by myself, by the president of our congregation, and by Herb Katz, who served on his Beit Din. And in this is also a copy of tonight's ceremony for your safekeeping. And now, Michael, I'm going to give you this handy little microphone here and ask you to present your...
Why I became a Jew. I was born into a Catholic family, baptized and raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school, which was a very mind-controlling and brutal experience. At age 21, I left the church after my divorce. I went to talk to my priest feeling lost. when he told me I would no longer be able to receive the sacraments, I made a pledge with God that I would never be back in his home. And he was never invited back into mine. Back into my house. I started asking myself why I even needed God in my life. After all, why should I just live to die? With much hate in my heart for God and the people in the world, I started living with no structure in my life. At age 42, I met a wandering Jew. Who was also looking for some kind of structure in her life. For the first 20 years of our marriage, we did not belong to any church or temple. We celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah with family. We went to Passover, Seders, at friends' houses, bar mitzvahs, and Jewish weddings. But that was it. When we moved to Stone Creek, the Tree of Life was just about finished. One day, Susan said, I am going over to the temple and check it out, and you are invited if you wish to join me. Okay, I lost my place. Okay. Go to the temple. So we went there, the phone number. I lost my place. I can't find it. I'm shaking. Okay. So I went along with her to see what she was getting into. I met all the wonderful members and enjoyed the service. We joined a temple, Beth Shalom, as a couple, and we never missed a Friday night, even on vacation, thanks to YouTube. After a while, I decided to take Herb's Hebrew class 101. Susan took the class with me to support me in my journey. I took the class a second time, met with the rabbi to discuss conversion. I started conversion class on 10/22/23 and have enjoyed every moment of it in this new journey with all my new friends. At this point in my life, I have decided to convert to Judaism. What drew me to Judaism was Jews lived their lives for today under God's word. As a Catholic, you live your life waiting for the afterlife. In the past, I never got involved in any activities in the community. Now I enjoy setting up and cleaning up the oneg. Other fun activities like once a month meeting with church members from the friendship circle. And this year I enjoyed participating in the sukkah build. Fridays are very special to me. I look forward to singing praise to God and helping with temple activities. Going to service on Friday night makes me feel joyful and at peace with myself. I have renewed relationship with God. When I am in temple, I feel God's presence and more connected to God. Outside service, I ask God to help me keep my focus in my daily activities and thank Him for my renewed life. What I look forward to the most today was when the rabbi placed the Torah in my arms. Thank you.
So before I let you go, Michael, I want to remind you what it's like to be Jewish. I'm going to argue with something you said, because that's what we do, we argue. He made the comment that he has enjoyed every moment of conversion. And I want to say that there was a 4-week period in which I was showing to my conversion candidates, Michael and Daryl, a wonderful video called Dig. It's a story of Debbie remembers because I showed it in that class too. Imagine Armageddon from the Christian, Muslim, and Jewish point of view. It's a wonderful series, but there were a couple of times when Michael, not so shyly, remarked that he thought it was a waste of time. And I want to remind you, I hope that you've been able to look back on that and recognize that there was a point to it. It wasn't just a waste of time. And if you aren't there yet, that's okay. You can argue back with me. That's what we do.
Well, I don't have to argue because I've enjoyed this journey.
All right. See, that's
My life.
it's like he was trained by somebody, right, Susan?
I have it. I can give it to him and sing it with him. Yes. I'll give it to you.
Michael asked me if I would allow Dale and Raul to sing the Sabbath prayer, and I said no. Actually, I didn't say no. I just didn't respond because I'd already put the service together. But let's do the Sabbath prayer instead of Shechianu, since that's what Michael wanted. And you're going to get the music from your wife. So you can go sit with your wife now if you want. You can sing Simanto after the Sabbath prayer.
Yes. Forgive us if it's not perfect. For Michael. May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen us, O Lord, and keep us from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long life. May God keep you and shield you from strife. May the Lord protect and defend you. May God always shield you from shame. Favor us, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer.
That song was just long enough to allow Rachel and Daryl both to cry on behalf of their friend. Now we Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, Ulecho Yisrael, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Now, if you saw me going like this, it's because Bacha, growing up in the conservative movement, they have this awful tradition. It's not just in the conservative movement, it's also Israelis. where you throw candy when Simchat Tov, except it's dangerous because you can hit people in the head. It doesn't matter. It's dangerous. It's not soft. It's supposed to be soft candy, but it isn't always. And I have been in a synagogue when the Torah was still open, and the kid finished his last aliyah, and someone threw a piece of candy that was not in a wrapper and went right on the Torah. There is no candy throwing on my bima, and I just signed a 5-year contract, so you can throw gummy bears and stuff in the social hall all you want, but not on the bima. Actually, this is interesting because Robert Colin, as you guys probably know this or not, Ari Colin is having his bar mitzvah in a couple of weeks, and that was one of the questions he asked me. He asked me if I allowed candy throwing, and I said, I was hoping he was going with, he didn't want it. And I said, I really don't like it. He was good because I don't want it anyway. But people ask about it. I do not like candy throwing. So maybe on my final Shabbat here, in like 15 or 20 years, you can throw all the candy you want, but not until then. With that in mind, I will tell you guys that we have one other conversion candidate that will be finishing his process hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and we will be presenting him probably at the Hanukkah service. So you're going to have like a lot of people here for that one. No candy. No throwing latkes either, or jelly donuts or anything, all right? No marshmallows. Stop it, y'all. We're going to turn back in our prayer books to page 282. I'm going to invite you to please rise and ask my children to come open up the ark doors. Is Ruby still in here? Come on, Ruby. No, wait, the ark's not open yet. I was just going, Leinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanik goye haratzot, velo samanu, kemishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, V'goralenu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech, Al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihye Adonai echad, ushemo echad. Please be seated. I don't know if you guys heard when Betsy Brody raised her hand during Mishaberach and she said the parents of Omer Nutra. I don't know if you remember when I came back from the CCR convention in March of this year, which was in Philadelphia, and I brought a picture of Omer Nutra that had been drawn by this artist in Philadelphia who had drawn all of these pictures of all of the hostages. And we have been saying his name every week as the only hostage listed in our IDF section, even though he was an IDF soldier, in the Misha Berach. I know, that's what I said, and he was an IDF soldier, but he was the only one that we listed as a hostage. He's no longer on that list because we found out this past week that he was actually killed on October 7th. And his body has been held by Hamas ever since, has not been returned to us. The Muslim faith buries their dead just like the Jews do, quickly. And yet they have held his body for all this time. So now we wish for the family of Omer Nutra, their son belongs to his family's congregation, and our very good friend Bobby Harris, former candidate of Camp Coleman, is a first cousin of Omer Nutra. That's how I heard about it, was from him. We hope for his family to have the body returned so that he can be buried as we would want any of ours to be buried. So I added him to our list of those that were killed. I'm not going to read all the names tonight, but you can see Omer's name will be on there, italicized for the next few weeks. Our congregation also, in our death memory, in our yard sites, death commemoration, we think of Jacob Mark, Minnie Elizabeth Taylor Deitch, grandmother of Andrea Caulfield, Claire Boxt, my mother, Dominic Campanile, father of Kathleen Katz, Arthur Santman, father of David Santman, Henry Marks, Paul Weisenfeld, Helen Greenwald, mother of Joyce Fox, Samuel Pomerantz, Stuart Flexner, uncle of Kay Fleischaker, William Johnson, remembered by Deborah and Steve Johnson, Irving Gilman, Bernard Weinstein, father of Naomi Berman, Bertha Kaminsky, grandmother of Arnold Olstein, Mitchell Mark. And we are in Shloshim, the 30-day mourning period for Chaim Rottenberg, first cousin of Rachel Etheridge. If there is a name that you'd like to be added to our prayers from memory this Shabbat, please raise your hand. Are there any other names? Yes. We join together as a community. Turn to page 294 or on the screen. Please rise for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitchadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dichol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach le'olam olomei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha brichu, le'ela men kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'mrumav, u'ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may all their memories be for a blessing, and we say together, amen. Please be seated. Now, a number of months ago, I asked for Dale and Raul to send me a list of songs that they could add to the service, and I received the list, and when I was putting together tonight's service, I decided I wanted to pick a song that we don't often do, and it was on their list. Lo and behold, little did I know that the guy who plays Bob Dylan in the new movie that's coming out, Timothy Chalamet, is going to be the guest reporter at ESPN's College Game Day tomorrow, which will be in Atlanta at the UGA University of Texas football game. So I had no idea. God works in mysterious ways. Timothy Chalamet is playing Bob Dylan, and we're going to close with the Bob Dylan song. Oh, yes, announcements before we do that. Thank you for reminding me, Batya. Sorry, I forgot about announcements. Someone would have yelled at me if I didn't do it, so.
I don't know if I can follow him on anything today. Next Friday, Shabbat services at 7 p.m. December 20th, Shabbat services. Again, it is not a family Shabbat. It's just a regular Shabbat service. December 21st, Shabbat morning, 10:30 a.m. is the bar mitzvah of Ari Colin. December 25th, Hanukkah candle lighting on the patio at 6:30 p.m. Same thing for Thursday, December 26th, and Friday, December 27th is our Hanukkah service and celebration at 6:30 p.m. That is the family Shabbat as well. Upcoming events for Sisterhood, December 8th is a Sisterhood Hanukkah celebration at 2 o'clock. This week's Oneg is sponsored by Sisterhood and the congregation, and this week's Bima Flowers are sponsored by Eli Rockland in honor of Rachel Rockland's birthday, Selig and Barbara Adler in honor of their 53rd anniversary, happy anniversary, and Susan Ahern in honor of Michael's conversion, Mazal Tov. Okay. Mahjong cards are for sale. Please see Hillary or Di Michelson. Orders are due by January 25th. Small cards are $14 and large cards are $15.
And now we close with Bob Dylan's Blowing in the Wind, and then we will follow that with going right into the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi, which will be led by Ted Williams. Shabbat Shalom.
How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? Yes, and how many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it's washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head, pretending he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man